wanted to work on a project yesterday, but when going through the usual steps to open Ableton, I decided I'd had enough. No more opening the application just to get my list of recent projects. I decided this was the day I would create my first application. And I had a thought. Some of the video games I play use launchers, like Thug Pro, for example. The launcher is a tool that will allow the user to change settings before opening the application. So I figured, why not build something like that for Ableton? Honestly, I'm really proud of how it turned out, and I'll be using it every day going forward. And as you can tell, on the left I have Ableton Live 12, and on the right I have History Launcher for Ableton. I've also pinned Ableton to the taskbar. One of the features helpful with the taskbar is that you can right-click the icon and choose from your recent sets, but it only gives you about 13 sets before reaching the maximum of the list. But rather than opening Ableton directly, I'll now be using the launcher going forward. To use the launcher, you simply double-click. Now that this is open, I can show you a bit of how it works. So from the list, you can see your most recent set, so the last thing you've touched is at the top. You can use favorited folders, as well as select the folder here to choose what directories to display. If you clear the selection, you only see favorites, and as you check or uncheck them, this list will grow. And of course, using the favorites isn't a requirement at all, so as long as you have your folder selected, it will show that, and it does retain the information. So if the application is closed and reopened, we still have the same favorites as well as the same custom folder selected. As you can see here, I have buttons to open the selected project. I have open most recent project, and of course I have new project. Now just to explain this row here, the application needs to know where the Ableton file is stored in order to launch the new project button. And Ableton will be in one of 3 folders, but I've also added the ability to select a custom folder in case you've placed it somewhere else. And as you can see, this drop down here will change based on what radio button I've selected. So just to explain a bit better, on the left you see the date the file was last accessed, and just after that is my actual file name. There are a few more bells and whistles, so just to get into them real quick, right-clicking an item from the list will allow you to open the set, open the folder, open its parent folder, or copy the file path. Last thing about the scrollable area, if you double-click it will also open the project. Now just a couple little disclaimers about the favorites. If you add a folder to the favorites, you can right-click it to change the label. You can also right-click and select remove. Last note, there is an options button here at the bottom. If you choose erase customization, there will be a pop-up just to confirm, and then it will be back to default. So that's it. For now, it is only on Windows. I'm not sure if I will ever develop a Mac version of this. It is something that could happen in the future, but like I said, there are no plans. If anyone who is a developer wants to take a crack at it, feel free. I've included the source code in the zip file on the Gumroad, so you could start there. If anyone is able to take my existing Python code and create a Mac version of my application, please share. And one thing I personally do with most launchers is I change the icon, so I have included the icons for every different version of Live, but you can choose properties on the existing icon, change icon, and then get the Ableton file path, select the Ableton icon, or .exe file, and then you can replace the Ableton icon here. So again, all of the bells and whistles are in here. If you use this, it will definitely speed up your workflow, especially after you get used to it. There's not much nuanced behavior to worry about. It is an exe file, but it is portable, so you don't have to worry about any installation. And if you're just wary of using an unknown exe file, I completely understand. That's why I've included the source code, just in case you want to take a look and see what it does. So I'm proud to present the history launcher for Ableton, especially since it follows my 3 simple values. Improvement starts when you question the default. Don't settle for presets when you can create possibilities. And the only rule worth following is to make it better. Peace.